All right, APUSH history folks, we spent 2 days talking about document-based questions, or DBQs. And unfortunately, your essay is not due for a week, so there's a chance that you might not get to it for a few days. And then you're going to look back at your things and go, I kind of forgot about this. So, this is a 5 to 10 minute video, probably closer to 10. It's going to be designed to try and give you a summary of what we talked about in class for the last 2 days, what a DBQ is, how one works, and a few tips on our particular DBQ, which is about the Puritans. You should have, sitting next to you, your rubric, bam, right here. The DBQ itself, right here. I've got mine sitting on my laptop just over here so that I can reference it in case I want to quote anything along the way. You may want to also have the other DBQ documents as well. The first thing I would do if you've done nothing else is to take the 3 sample essays and the College Board explanation of those essays and to read them kind of line by line with the explanations to get a clear sense of what the College Board says they're looking for. That's going to be a great help to you overall. After you're done doing that, then you're going to want to read the prompt. So in this case, the prompt says, pardon me for cheating here, in what ways did ideas and values held by the Puritans influence the political, economic, and social development of New England, of the New England colonies from 1630 through the 1660s? So let's avoid a few big mistakes right now. This is not an essay about the Chesapeake. This is not an essay about tobacco growing. It is not an essay about the Carolinas, about rice, about sugar crops, or anything like that. This is an essay about New England. We should be talking about Massachusetts Bay. We should be talking about the Plymouth colony. You want to talk about Rhode Island. That's fantastic. Talk about the colonies of New England, of the Northeast. That's where you want to be focusing. Now, there are other points where we may want to stray from there, but those are specialized cases. We'll talk about those in a minute. But this should not be an essay where I start reading about Jamestown and Jamestown and Jamestown and Maryland. That's not what we're looking for, okay? The other thing is it goes through the 1660s. It doesn't go all the way to the 1690s. So one key Massachusetts Bay event that you're going to be tempted to use are the witch trials. You've got to avoid the witch trials. They aren't a part of the topic. Unfortunately, they fall short by 1660s. The witch trials are in 1692. So, you've looked at the prompt, and now you want to read the documents. Okay, there's 7 documents. You want to make sure that you pay special attention to the source line information. The information that says this is the important information about this document, this is who said it, this is when they said it, here's a little background on that person. Make sure you keep a close eye on that because it's going to help us for our extended analysis down the road. Be sure that as you do that, you understand that there's a lot going on in each of these documents, that they've been chosen because they do provide a great background of information. You read the documents, keep in mind you get 15 minutes in order to do that, and then 45 minutes to write the essay. Now this time you're doing it at home, so obviously I'm not really timing you, but when we do have the opportunity to do these in class, there's going to be a time limit on these things, and this is going to be tough to begin with. I'm not going to make it out to be something that's incredibly easy. These essays are difficult, okay? So, you've read your documents, okay? Ready, read, done, good. You read them. Let's look at the rubric itself. The rubric starts off asking us about our thesis statement. Now, the thesis is going to have a variety of parts here because really, looking back at my prompt, I have to make sure I address the political, the economic, and the social development of New England. If you haven't looked closely enough, go back to the 3 sample essays now and look at their thesis statements. We pointed out in class that the thesis statements in those essays are about a paragraph or so long, and they make sure to address each of these areas. So don't write a thesis statement that merely restates the prompt. Don't write one that says, well, the Puritans certainly did influence the political, the economic, and the social development of New England. Well, of course they did. Otherwise, this would be the worst DBQ in the world. There'd be nothing to write about. You'd say, they didn't, and they're not. That can't happen. Okay? So you need to qualify that. You need to give it some sort of extent. You need to explain in what way it happened. Okay? That is how you're going to write a quality thesis statement that fully addresses the prompt. 7 points available in the entire essay. That's one of the points right there. After that, what you really want to do is think about how you're going to craft this essay. How are you going to organize it, right? Are you going to make groups of the political, the economic, the social? Are you going to somehow separate the documents otherwise? It's up to you how you do that. but you're going to have to make sure that you argue your thesis, that you're going to have to talk about how the Puritans somehow affected the development of the greater New England area. What is it about this religious group? They're devout, incredibly focused, hard-working, almost intolerable look at the rest of the world. What is it about that begins to shape the society of New England? And we have documents here that reveal that, so you need to discuss that now. This is where we have to be careful of ourselves. If all you do is use 4 documents to support your thesis statement, then that will earn you 1 point. So 4 out of the 7, really like you would with any essay, using them as evidence, 4. That'll get you 1 point. If you're looking to get 2 points, you need to do that at least 4 supporting your thesis, and then you need the extended analysis of 4 more. If you're looking for 3 points, you need all or all but 1, so 6 or 7 documents this time, used to support your thesis, and all or all but 1, 6 or 7, extended analysis. By doing that, you're going to create an essay that has a lot of evidence going on, a lot of analysis of the documents. Remember, there's a variety of ways you can do that. Okay, you can talk about the audience. Who are we speaking to? Who's the intended people that this is meant to reach? You can talk about the historical context. What else is going on around us that would provide background for this document that is important for us to know? You could talk about the point of view. What does the author feel here? What is the author's point? Do they approve of what's going on? Do they seem sympathetic? Are they angry? Are they complimentary? What is it that they feel? Give me a little bit of their point of view. Okay? If you don't like any of those, if you don't like contextualization, and you don't like the point of view, and you don't like the intended audience, well, then you can also talk a little bit about the overall purpose. What is it that I'm trying to achieve by saying to you this? Am I trying to get something to happen? Am I trying to memorialize an event? Am I trying to motivate people? Look at document A here, John Winthrop on the Arabella. Here they are, they're arriving, they've crossed the ocean, they've come all the way across these stormy seas and years of persecution for their religious beliefs, and they are but days away from the shore. And here's John Winthrop with the, all right, time to get serious. Now we go build the greatest society in mankind's history speech. Okay? That is my purpose, to lay down a set of ideas for us to live by. Okay? You can't quote me on that, of course, but that is what Winthrop's doing there. He's trying to motivate people to live this Puritan lifestyle. Now, the other points as we go down here. You can gain a point for outside information or other examples, so something within the time frame that's relevant that isn't specifically mentioned in the documents. Yes, you know something. And if you can't remember off the top of your head, you grab your Unit 1 study guide and you go back and you look at the parts about Massachusetts Bay or Plymouth and you'll find something. No excuse for that not to be there this time. Okay, so please go look. You could talk about, or I beg your pardon, you can get a point for contextualization. In other words, give me the greater scope of what's going on here. Tell me about England's goals in the New World or something. Lay down where the Puritans fit in this bigger puzzle of English colonization of the Americas. And in this case, that's what you're looking at. Where do the Puritans fit in as their small piece of the puzzle in the bigger piece of, or in the bigger puzzle? You also can get a point for the synthesis. And the synthesis is the part of this where we're supposed to look beyond the subject in order to find something that relates perhaps from another time or from another geographic area. And by doing that, we're going to do, just like we do with the long essay, we're going to bring something in that's not specifically asked for, but provides a nice point of extending the essay. In other words, saying, well, these are things that still live with us today, and here's why. Or here's an example of that 100 years later that we should consider that sort of brings reflection upon the essay. So consider that as you begin to write about your Puritans. Okay? So a point for the thesis, hopefully up to 3 points for the analysis of the documents, a point for outside information, a point for contextualization, and a point for synthesis. 7 points total. That's our goal, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to lie. I think these essays are kind of tough, especially to start with, but you are incredibly intelligent, hardworking people, and this is the challenge that we've been given by the College Board, and it's what we're going to do. Good luck. If you need to contact me, you know how to do so. Have a good night.